Hello. Today we have the Fide World Cup 2019 between Dean Liren and Liren-Grischuk, round 5.2. Alright, so let's go over this game real quick. Put that in infinite analysis, and we have an English opening 4 knights variation. C4, E5, G3, Knight F6, Bishop G2, Bishop C5, D3, D5, and C takes, Knight to C3. Black decides not to take on C3, but to keep the knight and go to B6. Knight F3, attacking E5, Knight C6, and they both castle. A3 may be planning B4 and Bishop to B2, but Black plays A5 to shut that down. Knight A4, attacking the C5 bishop, Knight takes, Queen takes. The queen looks a little offside here on A4. But we have Knight D4 attacking E2. Ding decides to take the knight. Then Bishop D2. C6. If Bishop takes B2, then Rook B1. Bishop takes B2, then Rook to B1. And then computer says maybe play Bishop D7 first. But if the bishop moves, then Bishop takes B7. So Bishop takes B2 is not it's not recommended. So C6 protecting B7. E3 hitting the bishop. Bishop goes back. Again, the bishop will be trapped if Bishop takes B2. We have Rook A2 trapping the bishop. So Bishop B6, Bishop C3. Rook E8, Rook FD1, protecting the D3 pawn. Also, Bishop C3, the D3 pawn is under attack by Black and the E5 pawn. If Queen takes D3, we have Bishop takes E5. Queen takes D3, Bishop takes E5, Bishop E6, and then Rook FD1 hitting the Queen, and we're equal. So Black didn't want to go for that Bishop takes D3 variation, but plays on with Rook E8. So we have Rook FD1, Bishop D7 with an indirect attack on the A4 queen by playing C6, Rook A C1, H6, H3, which prevents the bishop from coming to G4, Rook B8, Rook D2, and D4. This is an excellent move. I like this. D4, but computer, let's see. Computer likes Queen C2. But then D4, now they come around. D4, because any exchanges, I guess you could take back with the Rook. Indirectly hitting the Queen on D8, pinning the bishop, the D7 bishop. C5. Now C5 is a good move also. But a C5 is attacking the queen on A4. Queen moves, then we exchange. One more exchange on D4, and Rook takes D4. Wouldn't be pleasant for Black. C4, A4, Bishop D6, Rook back. Probably to go to E1 to contest that E8 bishop. Then they exchange rooks, and White has the E file. Queen to C7. Black has weaknesses. The C4 pawn is weak, of course. His pawn formation. Just the C4 pawn. Then H4, waiting move. Rook to E8. Bishop to D5. Yeah, Bishop D5 also kind of hits the C4 pawn. Rook takes the exchange. Now, Black makes a mistake here by playing Bishop to E6. Bishop to E6, they exchange, and then E6 is a weakness. The E6 pawn will become weak. So, Queen to C8 kind of holds Black's position together. But they play Bishop E6. Bishop takes, pawn takes, and White has an advantage already. Queen to E4 hitting the E6 pawn. King F7 protecting, Bishop C3, Bishop back. to f8. White has a huge advantage here. And d5, which is an excellent move. Queen d6, then exchange. Now, rather than exchange queens here, which would increase the odds of a draw, White plays queen to b7 check, also attacking the b6 pawn. That's one of the weaknesses of the black's position after bishop d4. The b6 pawn will drop. Then bishop d4, queen to f5. There's a better move. Simply move the king out of the way to h7. That would be better. But then the pawn would still fall on b6, and White has the advantage. But queen to f5, king h2, and queen to c2. So instead of king to h7, let me see. Wait a minute. Queen to f5. Instead of king to h2, White could take the pawn immediately. There's no harm in taking it right away. Then queen d7, bishop c3, then queen takes a4, queen check. Why didn't queen take? Because queen check first, then queen check, then check, then queen f7, attacking the bishop. Bishop is pinned because of the mate threat on g7. Queen to d1, king to h2, and White has a great advantage. Maybe then h4, h5 at some point. h5 probably can be played. So taking the pawn immediately was good too. But Ding Liren played king to h2, then queen to c2, which is not a good move at all. Ding saw that queen to d5, and then queen to f7, attacking the bishop. The only remedy is to attack White's bishop. Both bishops under attack, but bishop to c3, and queen comes in to protect the f8 bishop, and the pawn falls on c4. So a number of inaccuracies by Grischuk and Ding Liren exploited them. And queen to g6. Computer says instead of taking on c4, h5 immediately was a good try. Also, that sort of clamps the position. Yeah, if queen to e7, then the pawn falls. If queen here, then queen check, king to g8. Not king to h8 because queen takes h6. Then queen there check, king to h7, queen back, f7. See, what's the threat? Wait a minute. Oh yeah, he can't move. If he moves, yeah, he's black is paralyzed here. The only move then is here, and then White picks up c4 anyway with a huge advantage. But he takes the pawn immediately. Queen takes c4, queen to g6, then bishop d4, and Grischuk resigned because of the pressure. The b6 pawn would fall eventually. And he's up upon, White is up, Ding is up upon. It's just a matter of technique, which would be easy for Ding Liren to do. So let's look at the standings. Let me see. Let's see if I have that. I had it up. Nope, I don't have it because whoops. Actually, I'm not really even connected. So Ding Liren advances to the next round, and we'll see what happens. There are 2 games that are going in the tiebreak tomorrow, so that should be exciting. So thanks for watching, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.